Hey, brothers and sisters in Christ and people of YouTube. What a busy night tonight was. So many people wanting to get from A to B to Z. Some woman gave me this. It's a bit small, but she was having a 40th, and yeah, her and her friends have been quite wild. At least they had fun, I guess. And one of them's like, I remember you. You picked me up before. And I was like, I don't remember. She's like, And I'm like, but I didn't see your face when you got in the taxi, so. And then when I dropped her off, I'm like, now I remember you. And she had this huge smile on her face. And it's funny, yeah, when you've been through narcissistic abuse and all these flying monkeys that pretended to be your friends, and they're acting all the time and like putting on all these faces to act all concerned and like basically throw you off the scent that they really hate you, and God removes all these people from your life, and then slowly but surely, after you go through a little bit of healing, he sends the right people into your life, like people that can just basically just love you. You know, you haven't had love for such a long time because you've been around despicable people. And then when you meet these people that actually love you, it's like it takes a while to register. It's like, what is this? What is this feeling? I haven't felt this in a while. And yeah, it's just so many people that I'm cherishing at the moment. This other guy I run into in my taxi sometimes, and he's just full of wisdom. Sometimes we just have amazing chats, and whenever I see him, he's like an old friend. I just run into him, and we just hit it off all the time. And it's just from doing this job, helping people get from A to B, and just having a chat to them, and yeah, when God makes room for people in your life, like I think one of the hardest things to realize is when you have bad people in your life, there's no room for good people to come in. So God has to remove them first to make room for those good people to come in. And when your heart posture changes, like after healing from narcissism, you actually start to glow. You start to enjoy life. Like you're happy, you're smiling. Like I could never smile before because deep down I was in so much suffering and misery with this person that just didn't get it, that they were just a selfish person, and that everything they did was for themselves, and you were loyal to that person and you went out of your way for them. So a selfless person with a selfish person is never going to work out. But you didn't realize how miserable you were because you were that loyal person. But then once they're finally out of your life, you start to glow, and you start to attract more people that want to get to know you, that are intrigued by you, and like, who's this strange person, And yeah, it's just been a real blessing. Tonight didn't even feel like work. Like I was really busy, but you just strike up so many good conversations with people. Some conversations I wish I didn't have because some of the things people say, you're just like, oh, that's not my lifestyle. but to each their own. And yeah, hopefully I can plant seeds that bring them to Christ. But yeah, it's just been a really good night, and I thought I'd just read a couple of scriptures. Proverbs chapter 18, verse 24. A man that hath friends must shew himself friendly, and there is a friend that sticketh closer than a brother. And it's like, lately I'm finding people that are sticking closer to me than a brother. Like they want to get to know me. They're becoming like, friends that, and it's hard to make new friends when you become older. Like I'm 47 and we're not supposed to be looking for new friends at my age, but because my friends are in Perth, it's like, it's really hard because I'm in a small town. And that's why the narcissist had so much success with me, was that isolated me already. Like they were looking for a victim, they were looking for someone that wasn't in their town so that they could isolate them and mold them into what they wanted them to be. And that number one supplier that they needed, one that wouldn't question their bad behaviour so that they could do all the wicked things they needed to do. And it's very calculating the way they behave. And they don't care whose feelings they hurt. They don't care how many people they go through, how many bodies they leave on the floor. As long as they get their supply, as long as they, the energy vampires, can steal as much energy as they can and as much resources as they can, because these people are codependent and they can't do anything of themselves. And I'm going to read Proverbs chapter 17, verse 17. A friend loveth at all times, and a brother is born for adversity. So basically, narcissist was none of these things. It wasn't a friend, wasn't a good person, wasn't someone that was serving you in any way, shape or form. And it's like the more you don't look back, the more God pushes you forward and elevates you and puts you into purpose. Like when Lot was fleeing Sodom and Gomorrah, the angels told him not to look back as he led his family, his two daughters and his wife, to safety, because they were just burning it all and turning it into salt. And Lot's wife looked back and she turned into a pillar of salt. And Jesus mentioned this in his teachings. He said to remember Lot's wife, like it was quite important to remember that. And it's like, if you've been through a bad relationship and you're trauma bonded and you start to get lonely, you might look back, but that's the sort of thing that's going to burn you. It's going to destroy you. It's going to completely ruin your life. Like, especially if you're with a narcissist and you're just thinking like, oh, what if the narcissist can change? What if they get help? What if this happens? And you start looking back, and then the narcissist comes back and finishes the job they started. They finally kill you off. They finally make you miserable enough that you have a heart attack and die. Instead of realizing that was a chapter in your life and they were never meant to be in your life long term. It was just a lesson, a enduring season that God had put you through. And basically that chapter's closed and you need to move forward. And once you do, all these blessings start falling upon you. It's like crazy. just by focusing on yourself and showing up every day to do God's will, and even if you're not people of God, the wisest decision you can make is to just keep moving forward, to keep getting up every day, to keep doing something. Because when you get depressed, when you lay around going, oh, life's too hard, woe is me, you just get more depressed, and nothing ever eventuates from it. You just sit there laying around, and then maybe a few days go by and you're like, oh, doing this didn't solve my problem. All it did was waste my time, and I lost 2 days. Whereas if you keep moving, you keep focusing on yourself and your goals, at least you've got that to fall back on. You can say, well, things might suck right now, but what have I achieved? Oh, well, on leg day, I moved up a couple of kilos, doesn't matter what it is. It's an achievement. It's like, oh, I actually turned up for leg day and I got through my sets. Woohoo. That's an achievement, it's just, once you start doing these things, you start to really start to realize that you were better than this person, that you were never meant to be with this person, that in a weak moment you accepted this person into your life and all they've done is drag you down. Because the thing is, when someone realizes they've got something good, better than they are, they'll attempt to drag you down. If you're a fit person and they're not, they'll fatten you up. They'll try and find ways to keep you around because they realize you're worth even if you don't. But this is destroying your growth, and on top of that, toxic relationships are so destructive for your mental health and your well-being that you may never survive them. And once you've been through one, it's like you don't want to have another one. And even tonight, I was having a conversation with this guy that I get along with quite well, that I consider like a mate, and he just made me realize a chink in my armor. Something he said, I was just like, wow, dude, I didn't realize I've still got a bit of a way to go on my healing journey. Just because it's not just about not having feelings for someone, it's not just about moving on in that regard where you're healed from that person, but it's also in the regard of your mindset and the bad habits you've picked up, the ways of thinking as well. Even if you've gotten past this person, there's still some people pleasing, there's still a few bad habits in those regards that you've just got to iron out. And even though I've dealt with the people pleasing, there's still a bit of a weakness there, so it's something that I have to keep on top of. And if I hadn't had this conversation tonight with this fella, I wouldn't have realised. And the pitfall with that is, I might have invited someone else into my life that wasn't right for me. And this person basically he reflected back some of the stuff I'd said to him, and it's like, oh wow, that's good to like see a different perspective on what was floating around in my head, like, and quite a well-educated sort of like throwback. I was just like, oh, that's really made me think, and yeah, sometimes God sends people into your life at the right time to get the point across that it needs to get across. Like, part of the problem with the devil is when he convinces people that he doesn't exist. So, like, when you think you're healed and you try to move on with your life, and then you end up in another cycle, because if you've been through a narcissistic relationship, you don't just suddenly get in a narcissistic relationship when you're in your 40s. It's not like, whoops, I crapped out, I got a bad one. It's more, I've got another one. I've got another narcissist, because I haven't healed from the trauma. Like, I've picked up another one, because you keep going round and round in the same cycles. Now, this doesn't mean that all your previous girlfriends are going to be narcissists. It might mean your sister was a narcissist, your mum was a narcissist, your neighbour was a narcissist, who knows? But you keep letting these people in that are doing you harm. And the subtleties of and complexities of, like, people, you can think that you're ready for something when you're not, because of your mindset. Because you not only have to heal from the emotional wounds and the trauma bond, but then you have to get your head right. Like, and I think that's why it's important to do a pros and cons list as well, and to do some journaling, so you can sort of go, okay, what is this new Jamie want? What do I stand for? And really cement your boundaries by rooting yourself in your truth, like, of who you really are. And because you're only speaking to yourself and with yourself, you don't have to put on a mask. You don't have to shy away from yourself. You just have to come forth with, like, the brutal truth of exactly what you're after, and examine it, and kind of until it's becomes rooted in you. Like, these are my standards now, and no amount of manipulation is going to change them. Like, I think you really need to reflect on things quite a bit until you get that down pat. Otherwise, you're just going to be making the same mistakes you've always made in your life. And life is short, and the devil just wants us to run out the clock. So he's more than happy to see you keep fumbling around in the dark, keep making the same mistakes. So, yeah, it's really important to realize, hey, I survived a great deal, but maybe next time I won't survive the next narcissist, or the next bad relationship, or the next person that comes to exploit me, because I didn't set good enough boundaries. I didn't know myself properly. So reflection and growth and setting goals are important, and realizing your worth. Like, a lot of people don't know their worth, and they think that they have to accept things that they don't have to. And sometimes there's a lot of men out there, especially, that have settled for women that were really not worth it. And it's just a fear of being alone, a fear of not being enough, like, it's different fears that lead you in these directions that you don't need to go down. And, sometimes a man might be with a woman for many years that he just settled for, and they might be walking down the street, and then he sees someone that's really attractive, is really nice to him, and it's like, oh, why couldn't I have a woman like that? And it's like, well, you definitely can, but not if you're going to settle for someone that's going to mistreat you, sort of drag you down to their level and dim your light. And when you're unhappy, or you're just hating life because you're with the wrong person, you sort of lose yourself, and you start, like, for example, I'm just normally a very happy person that laughs about everything. Even when I've got struggles, I laugh about them. I never lose my sense of humour. But when I was with a narcissist, I started to lose my sense of humour. I lost my smile. I lost my peace and my joy. And the whole time I was fighting to keep it, to keep my connection with God, because I kept thinking, how can I be a person of God when I'm with this person? And how can I be a person of God when I'm not experiencing joy anymore? I'm not happy. I'm with someone that's not even following God, doesn't want to follow his statutes, is more interested in chasing after surface level people. And I could feel my blessings just dwindling away the more I accepted this person into my life. Like, the more I put up with the abuse, the less my blessings were coming in. They were just starting to just drift away. And a lot of that happened to do with the witchcraft, the destiny swapping, the all the black magic that was going around. So this person could try and steal my destiny and ride off my coattails, ride off my success. But that's why you have to be so careful who you let into your life. And once you make a mistake once, don't repeat it. Get the help you need. If you're in a relationship with someone and they do you dirty, don't just race off to get into another one. Don't just think you can just replace someone. Get the healing, do the work, and then replace that person a year later when you're actually feeling like you're there, like you've taken the time, you've done the journaling and all the work. It's really late, or it's actually really early, but God bless all of you. Remember, Jesus loves you. I love you, and have a blessed day in Jesus' name.